You have exactly 3 seconds to like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I'll appear in your dreams tonight. To ask for a donation for that cup of coffee, link below.
So being a free pour was Singapore's raid on debt right from the very start. But we saw that our position as an underbird, that was the statement of former Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong at the inauguration ceremony of Phases 3 and 4 of Pasiat Penang Port Capacity Upgrade Project, and that concern is now in danger of becoming a reality. But in a city and now, a mega project called the Can Geo International Transshipment Port has received the approval of the Vietnamese government. If successful, it has potential to propel Ho Chi Minh City past Singapore to become the leading logistics hub in the region. But why? Music. Over 3,000 speakers have been sold in the Vietnamese market and millions of products have been sold. The product in question is the Sirix X12 speaker, which has received many positive reviews from customers for its sound quality, professional karaoke features, Belgian construction, and especially its reasonable price. One day to receive music special offers. To begin, let's go back to 1907. At that, young Lee Hsien Loong, the eldest son of founding father Lee Kuan, was only 20 years old and still serving in the Singapore. This marked the beginning of the island nation's journey to becoming one of the region's most important trade and commerce hubs. With the opening of the Tanjong Pagar container port, 20 years passed in the blink of an eye, and the young officer of yesteryear became the Prime Minister of Singapore. And under his leadership, remarkable transformation has been observed. 43 years ago today we opened a container port at Tanjong Pagar. We didn't know whether it would be a success because the MB Neon was the first ship which came and was just 300 containers, not a game changer in itself, but it was a beginning of a game change. So that today we are handling ships with 8,000 containers on ship. But every saint has a past, and Singapore's beginnings were pretty much ick. Let's go back to the 19th century. At that time, the Lion City was just a small village largely covered by primeval forest. After separating from Malaysia in 1965, the founding fathers recognized the importance of trade to this small country, which lacked mineral resources. As a result, maritime infrastructure has been heavily invested in, transforming the area into a bustling trading port. To date, thanks to its strategic location on the 1,000-mile route connecting the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, Singapore has become the world's second largest transshipment port, after Shanghai, with a handling capacity of over 37 TU in 2023. These enormous figures have enabled the Lion City to build a thriving industry centered around its seaports. Since 1,000 jobs have been created, contributing 7% of the GDP. Small Southeast Asian country. The enormous revenue generated from maritime trade was then reinvested in infrastructure, financial markets, and healthcare, transforming this island nation into a new Asian economic powerhouse. Beyond economic considerations, the sea has given Singapore an extremely important superpower. Its geopolitical position, with a network connecting over 600 ports in Singapore, serves as a key cargo hub between Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and the Americas. Even if Switzerland were considered the world bank, Singapore would deserve to be called the global post office, where every package is carefully sorted and arranged before being sent to its recipient. And, frankly, nobody wants their order to be rejected. That's why the whole world is working together to keep Singapore Post running smoothly and efficiently. Singapore's voice also carries more weight because no one wants to upset a shipper, especially when they are holding their own order. However, these lucrative advantages also make Singapore's dominant position as the port of Singapore a coveted asset for many. The competition is becoming increasingly fierce, especially neighboring Southeast Asian countries also want a piece of the pie, or even whole. In that regard, is a rival that the Lion Nation needs to pay special attention to. Ham music. The country possesses over 3,200 km coastline and approximately 3,000 islands of varying sizes. Vietnam is blessed with great potential for developing its port system. Moreover, Vietnam, shaped like the letter S, boasts a strategic location right on the east, a vital shipping route through which nearly 60% of the world's total container volume passes. However, according to Tran Phi, the Deputy Director of the Import-Export Department of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, the volume of international transit cargo at Vietnamese seaports remains quite low. Current, most transshipment activities are limited to providing transit services for goods from Cambodia. Specific, imported goods from Cambodia are brought to Cat Lai or Kai Mep ports and then transported by barge along the Mekong River to Nong Phan port. Exports follow the same route. The only difference being that they travel downstream to Vietnam and then onto larger ships to reach more distant markets. This is a significant drawback, especially considering that the volume of goods transshipped through Southeast Asia is projected to reach 88 million TEU by 2025 before exceeding 2030. The current capacity of transshipment ports in the region is only TU. This means the door is still wide open for those who want to join the game, and Vietnam certainly doesn't want to be left out. In fact, the dream of owning a world-class international transshipment port is not new. As Mr. Le Quang Tran, Deputy General, Director of Vietnam Maritime Corporation, once shared, having a transshipment port is the burning desire of any port and logistics professional so that Vietnam can stand shoulder to shoulder with the world. We've been too slow already, so we need to move faster. And those courageous pleas seem to have been heeded by the authorities. A mega project for an international transshipment port is being urgently planned, a clear indicator of many of countries' important strategies and policies. From the National Master Plan, the Vietnam Seaport Planning for the 21-30 century with vision to 2050, to important resolutions on economic and social development and ensuring national defense and security in the Southeast region, or the resolution on the direction and tasks for the development of Ho Chi Minh City. They all emphasize the importance of a strategic project. The Can Gio International Transshipment Port. 25. Deputy Prime Minister Tran Hong Ha officially signed a decision approving the investment plan for this project. Accordingly, a mega port will be built in the Phu Loi Island area. These two mounds are known colloquially as Go Con Chol, Dog Mound, and are located in Than Commune, Can Gio District, Ho Chi Minh City. Located right at the mouth of the Kai Mep River, this area boasts what is considered the best natural shipping channel in Vietnam. This port area will have a distinct advantage in receiving extremely large container ships. Furthermore, Ho Chi Minh City's climate, with an average temperature of around 26 ABC, coupled with minimal impact from major storms, creates favorable conditions for round, uninterrupted fishing operations. Furthermore, Can Gio boasts a strategic location situated between two of the world's top 10 transit hubs, Singapore and Hong Kong. This allows easy access to international and regional shipping routes, giving shipping companies an additional transit option when complete. This project spans an area of 571 hectares, of which nearly 90 hectares will be land and the remaining more than 481 hectares will be water, with a total main berth length of up to 6 km. The total cargo throughput capacity is incredibly high. It is projected to reach 8 million to 30. This figure could increase to 16 million TEU when operating at full capacity, on par with leading transshipment ports in the region. Regarding the completion plan, the project will be implemented in 7 phases, with phase 1 potentially becoming operational as early as 22. Subsequent phases will be completed in 3-year cycles before finalization in 2045. The total estimated investment is $5 equivalent $8 USD, with the participation of many major domestic and international companies. Besides, Saigon Port Joint Stock Company, a member of Vietnam Maritime Corporation, the project also involves Terminal Investment Limited Holding, or TIL, This is a subsidiary of Mediterranean Shipping Company, also known by its BAN, the world's largest container shipping company. Currently, out of every 100 container ships in the world, 18 are owned by this company. In addition, they possess the capacity to transport up to 23 million tons of goods annually, along with a network connecting over 500 seaports. In Viet, MSC has been providing services at key seaports such as Da Nang and Khai My Thavai. Over 1 million tons of goods imported from Vietnam are transported on the company's ships to major markets around the world. With these numbers, MSC's certainly not a matter of a seat, because chairs can wobble. But they don't. It combines all the elements of favorable timing, location, and human resources. From political determination and strategic position to the cooperation of giants in the maritime industry, the Kengyo Megaport is facing a golden opportunity to become a regional-level transshipment hub. As the General Director of Vietnam Maritime Corporation, Ngai, we eagerly await the Prime Minister's approval of this project and request that Ho Chi Minh City expedite the procedures for selecting the investor. This will be an important step in elevating Vietnam's maritime industry, competing on equal footing with major seaports around the world. And the rival of Kengyo's injection system was mentioned here by the tycoon of Vietnam's maritime transport industry. It's none other than. So what does this mega project in Ho Chi Minh City have to offer to compete with the advanced seaport system in, despite its potential, if we like, Singapore to the giant that has dominated the regional commodity transit industry? Then the booming oil project in Kula Phu Loi is only just beginning to take its first. So what weapons does David Chur possess to defeat the giant Goliath in the Lion's Red game? First, let's talk about the dilemma. No matter how smart and modern it is, Singapore cannot turn things around. That's too small an area. With an area of just 9 km, it's slightly larger than Kengyo District's 710 km. Along with that comes the burden of building all kinds of infrastructure to serve a population of nearly 6 million people. Singapore. Sufficient land to continue developing and expanding its transshipment ports. Many man-made solutions, such as land reclamation, have brought progress. But the vast size of the land plots remains just a dream for Singapore. This not only allows for the construction of a well-organized superport at the present, this also serves as a springboard for long-term expansion to anticipate future growth in demand. If space were a shirt, then the young man from Singapore would be trapped in a size 1 shirt desk, trying to expand by reclaiming land from the sea, centimeter by centimeter. Meanwhile, Kengyo is like a young man with a perfect physique wearing an oversized shirt, freely moving his arms and legs without worrying about feeling. Besides its limited land area, one thing everyone agrees on when talking about Singapore is its high cost of living. According to a survey by MER, a New York City-based financial consulting firm, Singapore has consistently ranked among the top 10 most expensive cities in the world for 9 consecutive years. 2023. In this island nation, ranked second in terms of revenue, earning only from Hong Kong. A higher standard of living means that all related costs will also increase dramatically. Therefore, freight forwarding services in Singapore are not cheap at all. So, these are all solutions for shipping companies to save costs. There's only one answer: find a new, cheaper destination that still guarantees quality. And Kengyo is a strong candidate. Look at these 2 tables. The difference in cost when using port services in Kengyo and Singapore is very clear. According to estimates, choosing Vietnam instead of Singapore could save shipping companies 25% on fuel cost annually. Furthermore, loading and unloading costs in Kengyo can be up to 6% lower than Singapore. The reason for this difference is easy to understand. Singapore's per capita income has now exceeded year in Vietnam. However, this figure is only around 4,600 per year, nearly 20 times lower. This leads to lower labor costs and, of course, other operating expenses. Also, to better understand this competitive advantage, imagine Singapore is a 3 Michelin star restaurant where the price of a bowl of pho might make you think twice before ordering iced tea. Then, Kengyo is a restaurant that offers delicious, affordable, yet high-quality food, winning over customers in the logistics industry nationwide. Besides its advantages in terms of area and cost. The mega port project at Gokancho is also backed by a very powerful group of partners, collectively known as the Southern Key Economic Zone, which includes Dong Nai, Ho Chi Minh City, Viet Nam, Tay Ninh, Pin, Long, and not only is it a region with developed infrastructure, but it is also the leading manufacturing center in the country, home to numerous industrial parks and creating enormous import and export demand. According to statistics from 2021, the total volume of goods handled by Vietnamese ports reached 706 million tons. Of that amount, the demand from the southeast region alone accounts for 30 mil, equivalent to more than 40% of the total national demand. The annual growth rate currently stands at and is expected to continue to increase strongly till 20. Alternative, even without attracting many international banks, Kangeo can still thrive thanks to its enormous domestic supply of goods. This is like opening a coffee shop. Instead of attracting transient customers from far away, simply serving the local residents well is enough to attract a large clientele. Geographical location, competitive costs, and a strong manufacturing economy as a supporting factor. These are the weapons that could help David surpass the Singaporean giant in the future. Nevertheless, on a journey across the ocean, opportunities and challenges always go hand in hand. To successfully reach its destination, the ship named Kangeo had to overcome many. The biggest obstacle, with the potential to wipe out investors from this project, is the mechanism for dispersing investment funds. According to the Resolution on Special Policy Mechanisms for the Development of Ho Chi Minh City, strategic investors must disperse all capital within 5 years from the date of investment approval. During this time, they will also not be allowed to transfer the project to another party. It sounds simple, but according to a representative from the Ho Chi Minh City Department of Planning and Investment, this decision inadvertently creates significant pressure, requiring investment to be completed for all phases of the mega project within just 5 years could jeopardize the project's financial viability and feasibility, and this could completely discourage investors, even causing them to flee in panic. With a mega port capable of handling international cargo, the financial aspects need to be carefully calculated to avoid a last-ditch effort that leads to financial difficulties. In addition, despite its strategic geographical location, the transportation infrastructure connecting to Kangeo remains a challenging issue. The main roads leading into this area are still insufficient to meet the demand for transporting large volumes of goods. A modern superport, connected by an outdated transportation system, is like building a skyscraper with only a narrow alleyway for access. Road connection routes to the project have been studied, include options for connecting to the Ben Lux Long Than Expressway. The Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee has also requested relevant departments and agencies to prioritize research into planning a road transport system that is synchronously connected to the new seaport in the Kangeo area and the city's overall master plan. However, a rough estimate suggests that the total investment required to develop the road infrastructure connecting the project could be indeed. Relying entirely on the state budget would be a major headache, especially given the numerous strategically important national public investment projects being implemented nationwide. Besides, urban infrastructure systems such as electricity, water, and telecommunications also need to be invested in and completed comprehensively. A large-scale seaport cannot operate reliably if it remains vulnerable to power outages or communication system malfunctions. And importantly, all of this infrastructure needs to be completed before it can be put into. This means that, in addition to raising capital, the project also has to race against time. As you all know, being dead or having problems is never a pleasant experience for anyone, including the world's top investors. Operating a seaport is not just about ships and docks. It is also about people. A project of the scale of the Kangeo megaport, high-quality workforce, ranging from port management and equipment operation experts to those with in-depth expertise in the logistics supply chain. However, the reality shows that Vietnam's human resources in this field still have many limitations, and training is not something that can be done. That's not even considering the challenge of attracting and retaining international talent if decisive action isn't taken. Now, this mega project could end up being a large port with too few people, making operation difficult. Another challenge for Siki is the fierce competition from major seaports in the region such as Singapore, Port Kelang in Malaysia, and Lambang in Thailand. These are all formidable competitors with advanced logistics infrastructure, extensive customer networks, and a wealth of management experience. Without a sound strategy, Kangeo's international hub could be overshadowed by these major players. Albeit, the story doesn't just end with one spectacular, overwhelming feeling. Ho Chi Minh City needs to look further ahead, leveraging the vibrancy that trade brings to transform Kangeo into a financial, commercial, and service center, rather than just a place where people come and go and nothing happens. And we are all looking forward to that day, not too far away. Kangeo will be transformed with a new look, featuring dazzling modern urban areas along the harbor. At that, would be no less impressive than Darjeeling Harbor in Sydney or even Singapore itself. To achieve this, Vietnam needs a well-structured development strategy that maximizes its advantages in terms of cost, geographical location, and support from liberal pop. Only could the Kangeo mega port become a regional-level logistics hub as a springboard for Ho Chi Minh City's development, rather than just a dream on. Despite numerous challenges, the Kangeo mega port remains a highly promising project that offers significant economic and strategic benefits to Vietnam. But for a large ship to sail smoothly, a superport needs carefully planned itinerary, solid, and a long-term vision. The road ahead may be fraught with storms, but if steered in the right, the future of the Kangeo International Transshipment Port Project holds great promise. Ha music. Ha music.